Yes, that's a great way to start the Water Infrastructure Networking Summit 2024. Great to see all of you here. Thank you so much for taking your seats. The wonderful and delicious food are before you, and we are going to start the program by introducing one of my bosses, Director, Vice President of our board, Brian Probowski.
Thank you, June. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. There's a lot of people here. Good morning. It's good to be here. It's great to see this much attention on something so critical, but sometimes not so obvious, as our infrastructure is generally below the ground. But thank you for being here. Over 300 people are scheduled to attend today. This is our second annual event. We now, I believe, have 5 counties participating in the event, and representation from our local electeds everywhere. I think every table, our federal government, thank you for being here. As we prepare to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, we should pause and acknowledge the significance of all of our roles and responsibilities here in the industry, in the water industry, in the infrastructure industry. This is a really important task that we're all trusted with to shape policy and implement strategies and make decisions that impact the lives of millions of our constituents. So together, I'd ask that we all stand to join me in recitation of our Pledge of Allegiance. We have a flag here to my right. And if you all hand over heart join me, we can say a pledge to our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Have a great day.
Next up is our very own Director Larry Dick from Municipal Water District of Orange County and also a board member with Metropolitan Water District of Southern California.
Don't panic. I'm only here for a short while. I was asked if I would be willing to introduce to you Lou Correa. I thought it was like taking coals to Newcastle, but I immediately said I would be delighted. I'm delighted because I've known many of the folks in this room for a couple of decades. I've known Lou Correa for more. When I first met Lou, he was a young attorney doing business law, and he was doing things for the governor's office at that time. And he came around introducing himself and asked, "What can we do for you?" And that impressed me greatly. I read a book about Nelson Mandela, and in it he said he never lost an election. He either won or he learned something. I was talking to the congressman. He said he's learned something twice. People are elected to office today, and unfortunately, you'd think they were personal injury attorneys. They say, "I will fight for you." I don't want you to fight for me. I want you to work for me. Lou Correa does that. He's got the right stuff. You go in to fight for somebody, if you go in looking for a fight, I bet you can find it. But if you go in looking for an answer, you got to work for that. And Lou's the kind that will work for that. He's done that in the Assembly. He's done it in the Senate. He's done it as a supervisor of one of the largest counties in the nation. And now he's doing it in Washington, D.C. He's a man of integrity, and I'll wrap this up and say he has such integrity, he's committed to doing the right thing. There was a time when he was in Sacramento, he did what he thought was right. It happened to be slightly at odds with Don Parada. The next day he goes to his office, he's locked out. That's the price he paid for doing what he thought was right. But it's the kind of guy who will do that every time. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Correa.
I want to thank you for that nice presentation. You're right, I've learned painfully twice how to do things right. I'm Congressman Correa. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for holding this great event today. And I have to tell you, this is like a homecoming, seeing so many good friends, relationships that we have developed over the years the trust that is here to do the right thing when it comes to our constituents. Take a commercial break to talk a little bit about my good friend Alex Padilla. When I saw him, I said, "How you doing, Alex? Good to see you back in town." He said, "Yeah, Lou, it's good to be back." Alex has been hanging around Orange County for a good 20, 25 years, the last I looked. We all know that he was Secretary of State, was here all the time. Before that, he walked a few precincts for me back in 95, 96. We learned, those are the years that we learned. And of course, I can say that throughout the state of California, you'll hear that story repeated over and over again. And today is our senior U.S. Senator. Senior Senator. It's a guy looks to figure out ways to work with other folks in Washington, D.C. Water. Whiskeys for drinking and waters for fighting. About a month ago, I was working out in the gym, House of Representatives, and I had one of my colleagues, a young lady from Texas, come up to me and said, "Hey, can you tell me a little bit about what you all are doing in Orange County? I found out about this recycling program that you've implemented, recycling water." Started talking about toilet to the tap. She wanted to know what was going on because she represents that part of Texas that right now is essentially massive drought. Crops are dying. They can't figure out where they're going to get water next. But, you know, if you listen to people around the country and around the world, this is the challenge right now. Where are you going to get the water? And I think we've been blessed here in Southern California. I've been here all my life, and I can't remember a time, a day when they said, "Don't drink the tap water, it's contaminated." I live in Santa Ana, and by the way, Cesar Barrera over there, thank you very much for making sure Santa Ana has the best drinking water in the universe, if not Orange County. But you know, we've always been blessed with good water until recently. Now we're talking about PFAS contamination and God knows what else. We don't want Orange County, we don't want this region to be another Flint, Michigan. But the possibility's there. We're heading into a time of, I call it the come to Jesus moment. Deficits everywhere, federal, local. Federal level, at the state level, billions. Local level, millions. At our level, I think it's in the trillions. This is when we have to double down and invest in our water infrastructure. And in my opinion, the way you do it is one single word, which is trust. We all got to figure out how to go back to our ratepayers, constituents, and say, you got to pay a little bit more to keep good water flowing out of the faucet. And that means all of you, all of us, have to team up to come up with that message to say this is what we need to invest right now to keep quality water flowing to our households. I believe that our ratepayers, taxpayers, if you deal with them honestly, present the facts to them, they will work with us to make sure that that water keeps flowing. They will invest with us to make sure that infrastructure is there. It's no secret that Central Orange County, a lot of our pipes are, 50 to 100 years old, and you wonder why all of a sudden you get a big gusher in the middle of the street. There are other cities that are newer in the area, but it's all one system. So if there's a message I would leave with you today is, it's our challenge. It's our goal to make sure that we can look at our ratepayers and say, invest with us, work with us. Here's the plan, transparency, trust. We'll make sure that your investment goes to the right place, and that is to continue to have clean water coming out of the pipes at home. Thank you very much. God bless, and let's get busy.